Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to SewnangelSeason. We are in the third quarter finals matchup. We got Lirasanmarine versus Nyx today. We got first set Artist, second Wesker, and third Dredge. Joining me once again in the caster booth is Starzy. Starzy, how are you feeling about the Artist? How are you feeling about just even this matchup in general? And kind of coming close to the end of this first season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's kind of at this point. I think we just are. There's only 6 teams left. After this match, there's only going to be 5. So this is the second to last game of the quarterfinals. Whoever actually wins this game will go in the semis, will go up against Artorias, and then they'll make their way to Grands. But we will be seeing the first chase occur onto Cam here. This is going to be our Jake player taking the chase towards 11 as we take a very, very quick first hit. We are able to dodge the crows, hit by Killer Instinct, but that's absolutely fine. We've already been indebted in chase, and we are going to see another miss here, and we are going to force a most likely door break unless we're going to try and play around the power. We are, and I think we're going to be forced to vault here. This is going to be a down, and that is not going to be enough to have a good chase there. We do see that Wolf has started working on a gen here, has got it at about a quarter, but not as much progress as you would hope from our survivor team, as we see that Hermes hasn't even been able to cross yet. We see they're going to be stealthing at 2, so this is going to be quite a good start from Lirasanmarine.
Yeah, not too shabby. We did see Ruin leave the trial, though, so at the very least, we won't see that form of gen regression. But of course, we have Eruption as our backup in case that were to go early, as we did see it. Ruin is a very glass cannon like perk. So kind of pathing away from the Painterers. So there's a really nice hook, especially Painterers on a hill. I mean, who would not want that, especially with the gen spread that we have going on top side. I think we went a little too far away. We did see Hermes get the unhook onto Cam. I believe they were going toward the backside of main over to 1. Yeah, we do see the injured Cam over trying to path their way toward the 1 tile, which they do make it, but it is just the matchsticks. This isn't gonna help you last very long. This could very well be a very fast down if Cam is not able to check spot correctly, or if maybe some sort of buy block. We do see Hermes coming in to take a buy block to help get them to a stronger tile, which they do make it to this dumpster pallet failure here, but we were putting down all the crows and we actually completely avoid them altogether. Now we're just gonna basically just M1 killer, and we might drop on the wrong side into Mayans and vault into the killer just a bit, and we will get the second hook onto them. But in the process, though, we will see Wolf pop their gen in just a couple moments. But LZY is definitely ahead of the curve right here. They're in a really strong position right now here, Starzy.
Yeah, I think it's hard to watch. I think when you're referring to survivor mechanics, especially for that chase there, the down was very avoidable. I think that's something that we could have dictated to at least come 10 seconds later, or force the break, because that's quite a strong pallet. But we did see the panic vault, which did result in the down, which is exactly what LZY needed here. And we are going to make our way down towards the bottom, as Cam will be on second. Will be slowly, they're making their way to exiting the trial. But we are going to be seeing Wolf here, who is trying to cross. However, LZY are showing a very strong ability there to hold the choke, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We are going to see Wolf cross the top side, but we have been forced into the chase. We are not going to be able to actually get the unhook here, and we are completely committing to Wolf. We know that Lirio is still down bottom. Hermes probably has not had enough time to cross yet. I think this is going to be very, very close. We do see Hermes has made the cross, and Wolf coming in as well, but there's only a couple seconds left. I think this hit might actually bite them in the ass.
It does just that. Yeah, I think if they decided not to hit there, I think we would have seen the death of Cam at 3 gens remaining, but instead we get the slug onto Wolf, and we'll just continue this chase onto Cam. Like I said, we are so far ahead of the gen progress. Sure, we have 2 gens that popped, and a third is on the way, but you can see that Lyrail just got off of their gen. I think Cam is calling for another hit tank. Yes, you do see them. We get the crows, we get the pickup onto Wolf. A lot of injuries are going across the board here. If LZY can really get this chase down, get it down a little bit faster, we could be looking really rough for the survivors of Nyx. We get the crows onto them, we will drop the shack pallet. The chase is going pretty long, and maybe we can get some more gen pressure on the board. Maybe we will not opt to go for the reset, because there are still a ton of resources that we can use toward this bottom side. We do make it to the spawn bus over here at 4. We have the pallet outside the bus, a pretty solid pallet spawn here instead of the one inside of the bus. We hold W straight over, trying to do some mind games there, but not quite able to get to another resource, and we will just die in this corner around 4. So we don't see any resets, and I'm not sure what the gen pressure is looking like right here. We see a little bit of gen pressure as I'm able to spectate around myself because I'm actually spectating the game, but LZY is looking like in a very dominant position here, Starzy.
Yeah, I mean, just imagine if that first chase was like, sorry, if that third chase was the first, that would have been 100 times better. We were able to have a very solid third chase, which did buy a lot of time, bought some time for a couple of resets and a bit of relocate on gens. But we are going to see the next chase occur onto Hermes here. We do get a nice read with the birds. Actually, pretty much just gave us walls, and we will be seeing the down there. Yeah, that third chase able to bring the game back a little bit. We are going to see at least Wolf's gen pop for it. It's going to be close, but we aren't going to make this Scourge hook in time, and we do see that third gen of the trial does proc in the background. That is going to be right next to us as well, so this is in quite a nice spot. As the survivors have a really nice split. We actually see we see shallow 1, and we also see a top, mid, and bot as well, and there's also a gen, I think, at 11. So we have a pretty decent split. We can fight around mid, but I think we're going to see a lot of action on the top side, especially this late in the game. We do see the next chase does occur onto Wolf here. We are trying to screen them away from resources with our power, and we are going to see a very quick down there.
Very fast indeed, and we are safe to also get this pickup as we did see Lyrael getting the unhook on Hermes. So we know that there's not too much gen pressure being had on the map, and I would believe that they would opt for the reset. Yes, we do see the reset happen. So that had to be somewhere close to the hook. Yeah, we do see Hermes trying to make their way toward the bottom. They make their way just past Bust, making their way toward the cross, which means Lyrael has to be around here, hiding around the... That is not a very good hiding spot. We know they didn't cross toward the bottom, and we know they didn't go behind main because that's where we were at. We were taking that chase around to onto Wolf, and we see the double. We have 3 crows on 3 different survivors here, and waiting around the BT for Wolf. I think Wolf is the target that we want to go for. A couple more seconds. We don't want to launch the crows just quite yet, but I think we will see. Yeah, we did hit, but does not matter as we don't make any distance with that haste, with that hit, and we will see the down onto Wolf once again. But yeah, there's just no gen pressure to be had. I think we did see Lyrael making their way toward the bomb side, which I believe they will start working away at that bomb gen to at least get down to a 4K1, because I mean 4K2 hardest result could be quite difficult to beat here, Starzy.
Yeah, Lyrael is pumping down the bottom. Even if we get hit by crows, it really doesn't matter. We're in Shack. We can just jump into a locker and get rid of them straight away, which is a great usage of getting rid of the power. But we are going to see Hermes go for the challenge. We actually do see the unhook coming in at 11. We see the rotate back as well. Hermes will be taking the first hit. Wolf taking the chase towards the corner here. Has been used to Scourge Hook, so we go down relatively quickly. It's not going to be too damaging because we see that Lyrael is already at 75%. We are starting to really pump away here. Wolf does go down. We would have to take the center and make it straight towards bottom, but I don't think that's going to happen as we put the survivor on the corner hook there, and Lyrael is going to get this gen done. Might get hit by crows, but I think that's absolutely fine, and we've pretty much admitted it as well. But we actually are going to see if we can get to the bottom side, but we are going to see this gen prop. We go for the gen pop anyway and jump straight into locker, and that's exactly what you want to see. So we have smashed that out. Hermes probably got the opportunity to work on one of the top gens. However, I don't think they have too much progress, so we're not going to see too much value, and Lyrael running right into the artist here.
Oh, just barely able to dodge the crows, and they get that pallet stun, allowing them to make it back to Shack. But looking at Lyrael's perks, all they have is Resi to work with them. They do have the balance landing. Maybe they can path over to that hill over there at 4 to 5 area. Maybe they can get some more haste, get some more get to make some more distance. But you see the boards are launched toward 2 there, and we do see the crows making their way toward behind main, so we know there is a lot of progress being made on that 2 generator, and both survivors have a perk of some sort that will help with that gen pressure. We have Lyrael with the Resi, which will give that 9%. Of course, you got the Deja with the with the was it 6%? Yeah, 6% faster. So a little bit of something. We do find Hermes once again though at main, running into a tree here, not able to. I don't know what the heck just happened there. Maybe his controller disconnected or something, or wasn't looking where he's going, but he ran straight into the tree, and we get the crows onto Lariel, and yeah, this will be the final down, and this is the fresh hook, so even if we tried bleeding out, it would not matter, as all the freshers have been hooked. So very, very well played by LZY. Good job on the survivors to at least get that 4th generator out of the way. I think this is still going to be a tough win con to beat for the side of for Nyx, but we'll see what happens after we go to a quick short intermission, throw it to the break, and as we swap sides, please, everyone, stay tuned.
Welcome back, everybody, to the SewnangelSeason season, where we are once again on our 3rd match of the quarterfinals. However, we did see a little bit of a disconnect last game. That isn't going to be a penalty. We just are going to restart it as is. So we actually are going to see a swap here. Survivors spawning on the bot side of the map instead. So we are going to see a very, very different game, and we're going to see, I assume, once again, a hold and a choke cross from our survivors, but we do get a very, very early hit with the birds onto LZY here, but we were not able to come up with a double hit there. So we are going to see, once again, the choke is held, and we are going to see if we can stop the survivors from crossing. We do have a 3-gen bot, and then we've also got the mid-gen and a 3-gen top.
Yeah, fairly normal start to a game. I mean, I think the survivors will just be happy with waiting out their corruption. I mean, if our killer is just going to sit at the choke point, you know, we might as well wait ourselves, you know, and then force the killer to come to the generators that they'll eventually be working on. But for the time being, we'll definitely have a very, very slow start as I get a quick look around the survivors. Yeah, everyone's just stealthing, waiting for their turn, waiting for either the corrupt to end or wait for the killer to make one move to one side of the map or another. But yeah, and that's basically what we're going to be seeing for a little bit. Just sending the crows down a little bit. Maybe connect a couple of them and get some info. We see some scratch marks kind of making their way toward the bottom. It looks like the killer is actually going to go for the bait. We do get like I said, that first crow. We see the killer instinct on, I believe that is LZY inside Shack here. But that will allow everyone else to cross to the top side for free. No injuries, no birds, no nothing. So, not able to detect spot correctly, and we will get the first M1 onto LZY. Dropping the Shack pallet immediately, and we do see, I believe that is, I saw another survivor here. Was that Jake? I believe that was sneaking around here as well. I think maybe coming in for a body block or a hit tank of some sort, but it looks like we were just happy with staying on LZY for a little bit longer, especially at this weak failure pallet here. Not a whole lot to work with. This is basically a guaranteed down. Yes, we do see the down onto them. We do see a little bit of gen progression being made. Adam's gen is just about to hit the 50 mark. Roy's gen is about to hit the 50 mark as well. I think Jake is going to be the one that will be stealthing for the pull. And yes, I just rotated over myself, and yeah, they are sneaking around a little bit. And yeah, we'll just be happy with taking the basement hook right off the bat, because I mean, we know there's not a whole lot of gen pressure, and of course we can just continue sending the birds until we find someone, and then we'll know exactly where we need our gen regression.
You are going to see that first hook, as you said, will be in basement. However, we do have our Jake stealthing very, very close nearby for the save here. So this is going to be a very, very passive save coming in. We've actually gone straight to edge map as well. And I think we've just out-stealthed there, only by a hair. But I guess that's a good example of not using the very active, very bright colored outfits, where it's able to blend in very nicely there. We are going to hold this choke as well. We are basically just sitting on the shack and just kind of waiting for the survivors to come in. And we've got our Jake here, who's actually just completely ready to come in. Is in a great spot, quick and quiet. Oh, he's able to stealth here, and we're in. Oh, we've just been caught, and we are going to make our way down. This is going to be a trade, but we are going to see LZY is going to get out of basement here. We don't see the commit. We see LZY willfully leave here. Thought we might have gone for the down because there's no shack pallet, but we are going to use those extra 10 seconds to make a lot of distance here. Live can also help us get to the top map very fast, but we are going to see the complete leave there, and we are just going to be playing around basement still.
Yeah, I think we're happy with staying around basement. I mean, there's not I mean, we probably should maybe go toward the midsection a little bit, maybe pressure that the gen up there toward the bottom mid area. We see some of the crows flying onto Royce there. We do see the reset onto LZY, but I think this is still a very good position. We see the gen at 4. We have the bottom mid. We have the one at 8. So we do have something to be held there. We see here a little bit of the pistons pumping on 8, and we'll eventually see that main gen pop it. We'd use to turn back the clock on the bottom mid gen, chasing off LZY, getting him away from it, but you see the Lithe come into play, and yeah, we do not want to chase that. That was way too far up the map, away from the gen spread that we want to protect. And as we see, we apply the eruption onto that 8 gen that is just pumping away too much. And if we're trying to get the ace to come in a little bit too close, but not quite able enough to go for the injure. But it looks like everyone else, though, kind of just taking a quick peek around. Everyone's just happy with sitting on their gens because, I mean, the win con is 4K0 for the side of the survivor. So at some point or another, our killer has to go exploring around a bit if they want to meet this win con or at least get the tie con here. So, well, I mean, this is the what's called the exchange that we see between the survivors and the killers. You get to hook or get the second stage, you get the tunnel out, but in turn you get a ton of gen pressure. And look at that, you see the bottom mid gen has 2 pistons pumping. Of course, we're applying the eruption. 8 is definitely gonna be worked on. I know main was being worked on a little bit, and yeah, the survivors are in an interesting situation. We do see someone come in for the save. I didn't see which one it was. I believe it was the Adam that came in. So if we can get Jake to get all the way up the map toward 1, toward 11, toward anywhere away from the bottom side, the survivors would be looking pretty good. So look at away at the wall. Adam doing a great job body blocking the killer a little bit, kind of. Oh, and we get the crow down as well, and the instant pickup. We're going into a 3v1 with 3 generators remaining, and this is a pain res on a hill hook. What better painters could you ask for? And you see all of the auras of the survivor with eruption here.
We are going to see Ace make their way towards mid. We still have quite a few gens that are being actively progressed. We are going to see a lot of action on the bot side of this game. And we are going to see Royce here try and move in for the 8th gen. We are putting a lot of passive pressure on this, but we are being forced away as well. Not too many options here to use our exhaustion with balance with where we are. We really have to go to the bot side of the map to make that work, or near to. But we are going to see another throw hit onto Royce. We are taking the chase deep bot as well, just a little bit risky, but we have been forced towards the bot side. Do get access to balance here. We'll be able to make it towards Shack for free, and this is going to be a solid chase if we can just hold our check spots. And once again, the artist is right on top of us, and we find a great filly here at the 5 side.
Absolutely, and we do see that 4 gen pop as well, so the gens are pumping away, so we really need to wrap up this chase, really get these pain reses going, and maybe even go around and apply our eruptions again. Eruption got a ton of value on when we got the down earlier on when we got our tunnel out. We're putting the crows onto the bottom of the gen, and we see that it's still sparking away. I think we need to go back to 8. 8 had a ton of progress. Yes, you see the pistons pumping. We'll apply the eruption and maybe chase off whoever was around here, which I believe it was the Adam. Yes, it is the Adam making their way toward Shack. So yeah, we can definitely take this chase. It is toward the bottom. It is in our gen spread that we want to protect. But if this chase goes on just a little bit too long enough for at least the reset, or at least to get knockouts on the gens. Look at that! You see, I'm panning over a little bit. You see Ace working away at that 8 generator injured. That can be extremely risky, but I don't think our killer is going to expect that to happen. Like, having the injured survivor so close to the chase, work on gen, is not something that too many would predict. Maybe that we'd have him toward the top side, and maybe swap sides with LZY. But yeah, we do see that generator pop, and now we are at our Tycon. No more gens can pop for the side of the killer. 1 more gen for the survivor side, and that would be the win for Lirasanmarine. We get the tag onto the Adam, once again just taking it over toward Shack, which is such a strong tile to use against the artist. They make it over to the truck pallet here, dropping the pallet immediately, and yes, with that 5th and final generator popping, that is the set point and win for Lirasanmarine. So congratulations to them for getting that win, and of course we'll play it out to get the best result possible. This is a fresh show. This is a good survivor to go for, but that is a great win to go into your opponent's second set, Starzy.
Yeah, no surprise to see Lirasanmarine take that set away. That was a very strong performance. Maybe a bad chase or two by LZY at the start of the game, but besides that, we had pretty consistently good chases. And it goes to show the macro from Lirasanmarine. They've been around for a long time. They're just generally a well-known comp team in OCE. So no surprise to see them do well. We are going to go into the next set here. So make sure to stick around for the West.
Welcome back, everyone. We are on to our second set, Wesker on Coal Tower 1. Just to give you a quick recap of the previous set, Artist on RP Lirasanmarine came up with the set point win. So now we are on to the Mastermind, and Nick's now on the back foot. If they lose this set, they will be out, done, dusted, nowhere else to be seen until Season 2. So yeah, they're definitely going to need to put on a great showing in their set. So, and immediately breaking the front main door, immediately finding Adam here, trying to make the ball into the window, but gets slapped across the window instead, trying to do some mind games inside main, might be able to wait for the 2 charges, wait for the 2 bounds. This is going to be a very fast down if we're able to connect these 2 downs, but instead we're opting to break the 11 side door, immediately dropping the pallet on the 1 side, and oh, this could be really, really dangerous for Adam here. If we get the pallet break once again, making main just a little bit more, a little bit weaker, we make it to the vault, but all we have left is this pallet in front of, behind main here, so they are able to make it to the edge map. But once again, they're really just happy with cleaning up the resources. We see Nancy trying to come in for a body block, because we know, when we realize that this is way too early of a down if it does come through. Although we do see LZY and Royce coming, doubling up a gen, we see Nancy able to successfully get the body block and prevent Adam from going down. But once again, now they're in trouble. Both of them infected. This could be extremely, extremely dangerous. That will buy time again for Adam to make it further down the map. We see the firecracker come into play, blinded, not sure where to go, but eventually we will take Nancy as our first down, and this will be in this top side 3-gen, but we will see that first gen pop, which I believe was a middle generator. But this is a nice painter's hook, but I don't think it's going to do anything, because I don't think there's any other gen pressure on the map here, Starzy.
Yeah, it's a relatively quick first down. Costed a lot of resources as well. The top side has become significantly weaker after that one, but we will see the first hook in top mid, and a pretty good gen proc for it as well, another mid gen. So we see the survivors were able to fight back a little bit. However, 1 hook for it I think is fine, absolutely. We are going to use balance to get away here and take the chase towards 2. However, I'm going to commit. We are going to see L'Oreal is going to look towards the mid side of the map. Instead, we are going to go down for this Nancy. This is going to be our head-on player as well, so we're not going to get any value from our perks, and the Mastermind is right on top of us as well. And once again, the Adam will now be taking the hit for the Nancy. We're seeing a little bit of a backwards play there, and LZY down bottom as well, as we rotate back to our Nancy, who is trying to play the check spots here, but it doesn't matter because we're in a completely different chase. As we see Adam here will be taking the chase at 3, trying to rotate around. We are going to see a very quick down, but alternatively, we are going to see a very quick reset as well onto our Nancy here, and we will see LTY straight back on the Shack Gen. So the survivors are pumping back very, very quickly. Nancy will be trying to stealth for the power crate here, but we're actually going to see it rotate straight towards the unhook as well, playing very, very risky with the Mastermind power there.
Can definitely be risky, but yeah, they were able to get the eruption proc onto 1, and oh, not quite able to connect the double bound onto Ace here. Doing some mind games trying to play the 4 lane, but eventually we see the unhook onto Adam, get the injury onto the Nancy. They are fully infected, so they will be a little bit hindered in their chase. So if they're able to connect these bounds and get a quick down, this would be looking pretty solid, as they are still worth a paid res stack. We only did 1 bounce, so we are able to get the second one in time, and we do get the slam onto the wall, but not before the second generator pops. We do see the aura of one of the survivors on 1, but I believe that is our bounce slaying survivor, so they're basically safe and will get their haste and make it down the bottom side of the map as needed. I didn't see which gen popped in the background. I believe that was one of the bottom side ones. So we still have this 3-gen top side that we can work with, but the ace here has been working away at this generator. We use the turn back the clock, so maybe the balance landing won't get its full value. No, it does not. We are able to slam the ace up against the trees and behind the one hill, and I don't think we can make too much. We do make it to the back main window, but what else is there to make? Because, I mean, earlier on, as you point out, a lot of these resources have been used up toward the top side, and this is exactly where Lero wants the chases to be, but opting to leave and go for the Nancy in Shack, this is a very risky play here, Starzy. If this chase goes too long, I mean, there's a lot of resources around here. I'm not so sure about committing this here.
Yeah, once the 1-gen pops, we are going to lose a lot of our 3-gen potential, but I guess we've just decided that we don't give a shit because we've completely committed to the chase. Down near the 8 side, we are going to see the vault comes and a very quick down to come right after. And I think we are still going to see it pop anyway. This is going to be the tunnel out, so we will get some value from this chase here, but the 3v1 may be coming a little bit too late here as we see one does end up popping, and that is going to be our strongest 3-gen gone. LZY also pumping on another gen in the background, and that is going to be Nancy out of this trial. And we never used a Scourge Hook on it. That was no Scourge Hook used. We still have all 4, and now we've lost the capability to use one, which to stop LZY's gen, that would have been a huge boon there. But we are going to see it pop regardless, and that's going to be a huge win for the survivors. It sets them up in a really strong endgame scenario here. We do have 1 on 12, which we're most likely going to see Roy's on. We have a gen at 11, and we also have a gen near bot side as well. So we have a ton of action to play around, but the survivors only really need to play well for about 30 seconds, and they will get a ton of value out of it. LZY will be taking the chase towards bottom here, as we are going to see Liriel rotate down with them.
Absolutely, realize that we really need this pain res. We need to get this gen pressure going. We get the throw in, we do get the injury, we see the eruption prop and see the aura, but both of these survivors are working on 2 different generators, so this pain res will come in time to proc onto the Atom, but I don't think they realize that Ace is also working on a separate generator, which will definitely be a surprise. We get the pain res, we don't know, the killer doesn't know which one it went to quite yet. That's why we're going to check out main. We suspect that that's where the Ace is going to be, as we've already seen earlier in the trial. They used the balance landing, so that would be the perfect gen for them to work on. We do make our way over to logs, and we see that they're Russian on there, so we realize that that's where the highest production is. So we have to make our way up to main and find out who is here working on the dead. As I already pointed out, it is the Ace, and they are injured, and they were able to use their balance landing to make it further into the map. They make it over to 2 into the matchsticks, but this is not a strong tile against the Mastermind. Unless we can check spot this correctly, maybe we can make something work of it, but I'm not so certain. They do make it over to the 4 lane, but yeah, no, there's nothing to work with unless we throw them into the open, which might give them enough distance to make it over at 5. And yes, they do. They make it over to this 4 lane pallet here, and they also has the window swinging through the pallet, but they've already W-keyed it into the other part of the tile here. And this is the S tile, not the window. My apologies. And we do get the throw once again, but it's not an injure yet again. You know, Lyra is not happy with this, with these throws here not connecting into slams, and finally we get the slam onto Ace here, and this is our 4th and final fresh hook. So at least we got the fresh hooks going, but that was a very long chase that really really gonna pull a very good result for Lirasanmarine here, Starzy.
Yeah, we're actually seeing our Atom try and play for a couple of stages as well. If we're able to get a stage or 2 extra out of the door, that would be huge, but I think we're fighting for a decent win con anyway. 8 stages is great here. Really for mostly for the survivor side, actually, I'd say. But Liriel is going to try and play around it. We do see that there is a reset occurring in the background. Might see the reset from the crates here as well. We are going to see LZY try to fight for it, and we are going to make our way down towards boss side as we see Roy's wants to get unhooked here. So if we're able to get this off, we are going to get 2 extra hook states out of it. Even if we get 1, then we'll be absolutely fine. But that's going to force another trade, which I don't think will happen. So I think we are going to at least see 2 out of it because everybody is on first. We do have a gate right next to us, but it is not touched at all, and I don't think we're going to see anyone touch it either. As we do come in here, this is going to be for the double save.
And as you put it, this could be extremely risky, especially with that door not being opened. That is a long way to make it over to 8. We see the throw onto Adam. They will make it over to this pallet. We see the unhook, but this is just another 2 stages that we can add to this. Although we do see LCY coming in for the back, and they throw it, and it does not result in an injury. That is humongous. That might give enough distance for the 2 injured survivors to make it toward the gate. And with LCY still being healthy, even if they get thrown away, even if they get injured, if the other 2 survivors can leave in time, maybe we can go for the hatch. But no, they're actually trying to make it for the gate instead. Maybe you see them resetting here. They need one more body block. They're not going to be able to make it through the gate on their own. And they get the, oh my gosh, we slam the ace into the other survivor, into the Adam. And now we see LCY making their way over to Shaq. I don't know if they make it in time. We can get enough balance in time. Maybe we can get him. No, we do not. Oh my gosh, we see all. Yep. It all comes down to this. We are on to the second trial of the second set. It is up to Nyx now on the survivor side to at least get the set point to move on to the tiebreaker. Remember, whoever loses today is outdone and dusted. See you next time in Season 2, or potentially Season 2. Whoever wins will move on to face off against Artorias in the semifinals. But before we get too far into the action, we got Sarzi had to leave. They left with the other survivors in the previous trial, and so we have Tavi on the casting desk with me today. Tavi, how are you doing? And this is quite the showdown we have in front of us.
Yes, Peaches, I am doing great, and I'm very glad to be here. Finally, I could say, but that would be a bit of out of context for some people. That's a very fast tank for LDY, and he's chasing the 8 stages for fresh. Pretty standard win condition, I would say, and being 1 set up, that is, of course, going to be very, very nice. Actually, very nicely done by LZY. I think spotted the light there and did not decide to commit to this. So there's light gone from Hermes, and he really needs to make this chase fast, I think. But, oh, wow, LZY. That was a beautiful dodge coming out from Hermes in the last chase. But this filler is not strong. LZY, though, losing the 50s does win this one, though, and I think this will be the first down. No, actually, the 50s are still in Nyx's favor. Hermes just patient with that space key, and just maybe make it a little bit further, but no, that is going to be the first down. But at least Nyx can get the first gen done for it, and they also do know that Beetle is in play now. I know Lyra and Nyx's strength. I know that they're both very strong teams here, and this kind of, I'd say, critical set looks like fairly contested right now. Just like LZY gets the hook, but I think that those 50s that were won by Hermes were so critical in buying more and more time, and that really does give Nyx a good shot at going for this. But
we see Cam crouching around the wire tower, not sure exactly what their plan was. I believe they're trying to be the savior, to be the one to unhook Hermes, but getting caught out. They're going to get a very fast M1 onto them, and we will see LZY make their way back over to the unhook. We want to get this tunnel out ASAP. We do see the unhook. I believe that was Maya able to get the unhook and making their way all the way toward the top side. Although we do have this top side 3 gen, so it could be pretty rough in the mid to end game. We go for the life. We get the ball. Make it behind main. I believe this is the death spot that was calm. We don't have the window behind main, though, so all we have is this pallet here, unless they decide to break the main door, and we get the dash, and we get the injury. Yes, we do get the throw and the injure. This will be the second stage onto Hermes, but there is a ton of pressure on the board here. They were just getting ready to pop their second gen. Maya's gen is about over a quarter over here at I believe this is 2. Actually, sorry, that was the gen that Lyra was working on, and that is the top side 3 gen done and dusted. So I don't think we have any other 3 gens to really work with. We have main, we have 11, we have 6 and 8. I didn't see what the other generator was, but this is not looking too good for the side of LZY. We did think the unhook on Hermes as well. We can't commit to Lyra quite yet. This is a fresh hook. We could turn it into a pain res, but Also, I just realized that Ruin has also left the trial. So right now, yeah, there is holy crap, the name Lirasan is on the back foot here. Although if they are able to connect these battles and get the tunnel out in time before more generous pop, it could be the set win for Lirasan. But we do have this body block here in the form of Maya. We did get the throw. I am surprised that was even a throw. I'm surprised that wasn't a slam into the wall instead. But that gave so much distance to Hermes, but it did not matter. Oh my gosh, using the final dash right there at the end, just barely at the end of it. And we will see Hermes leading the trial at 3 generators remaining. Tavi, this is not looking good for the survivors of Nyx.
Wow, what a sudden chain of events. Perhaps LZY was getting a little bit phased by that middle game. Had a good tunnel out. Also will get it down onto Maya. Luckily, that firecracker wall blind, but not for long enough. And yeah, it's just insane. I thought our survivors had perhaps a little bit of momentum going. They started to get the gens progressed. But then perhaps they just gave away too many injuries. Maya comes in for the body block, but it's just not enough to secure Irma's safety. They're gone, and now the rest of the survivors have to work with the injuries that they took earlier on. They have to make sure that they don't come back. That backfired them, and I feel like Cammy now, that one injury coming from Water Tower, you can see it's just sort of backfired, and now LZY is able to capitalize on all this kind of backhand, not really backhand pressure, but like the pressure that was on the generators were not on the resets, and now that both survivors are caught out here, it just seems like such a beautiful spot for LZY to be in to maybe just conclude this altogether. He only needs 3 more hooks here, regardless of being fresh or not. And it seems very, very likely, considering there's still 3 generators left in the trial for our survivors to complete. And that's going to be Lavail taking the next chase. Does have a serpentine tile to work with, so not the safest, but at least it's a pallet, and it actually connects it back into the jungle gym. So perhaps something can happen there, and there's a beautiful stun coming through. So yeah, perhaps LZY, if that pull came through, maybe... I was going to say, maybe if the call came through, maybe they'd have a chance. But yeah, again, LZY can just stay around here. Our survivors are split up. They can't really do much because it's just too unsafe being injured.
Yeah, too unsafe. We get the unhook again, and we get another slap once again. The same way that was done to Cammy earlier on, and that is the 4th fresh. So yeah, this is not looking too good for Nyx. I mean, what is this, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yeah, the 6 stages. We only need 2 more to take the set win. 1 more for the tie, 2 more for the win for the Rimazine. We find Maya here dropping the Shack pallet immediately. We get the unhook, but now everyone is infected. Maya is fully infected, so they're hindered as well in this chase. They make it over to 5, so this could be a strong tile to be used, but with this hindrance, it's going to be difficult to make it back to the pallet. We are able to snatch him away from the pallet, and we throw him against the rock edge map. And honestly, if LZI really wanted to, we could just hook this and camp this to death, and that would be the win for the Rimazine. I'm sure they're going to want a better result than just sitting in front of them. I'm sure they want to go back around and get a higher 4K result rather than just camping in front of them. But yeah, we do find Cam here that trying to go for the unhook. That is the healthy survivor, so it would be a good survivor to go for or to send in. Missing the double dashes, so they will get this unhook. But after this, now what? What do you do after this? We get the injure onto Cammy, and they're fully infected now, and this is just all snowball. Oh my gosh, Tommy, what is this slap through there at the window?
Yeah, that's certainly a mastermind getting through the update moment, the buffs to the mastermind really allowing those windows and pallet vaults to be a lot more unsafe for the survivors. Hopefully it gets reverted. I think it's a little bit stupid that those hits come through, but I think it is also a bit of an issue on Mastermind end itself. Like, you either kind of get blocked on the pallet or you injure the survivor. There's not really any in between. And I think LZY, though he's capitalized on it really well, I mean, he's in a really good spot to begin with. Goes for the double dash. That's a beautiful flick coming through onto the rail, and this trial is just seems like all over at this moment. Maya's the only one standing right now. Did pop the generator in the background, but fortunately, this is probably going to be where it ends in Season 1. And just like that, LZY secures that Riverland Bound, and yeah, that seems to be wraps. Here's the 8 hooks, just in case somehow all the other survivors manage to get up and get back in the trial. That's extremely unlikely though in this scenario. And yeah, Lira takes away the 2-0. That's, I would say, wow, it's just well played. I still think that yeah, I still think the Knicks did put up a good fight. It's just perhaps LZY was on a lot of momentum here in this trial, Peaches, and that's what carried him over the finish line.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, yeah, especially coming off of a win like that, coming off of the win in their own set, going into this trial and getting such a fantastic save on Nyx's pick. I mean, getting that turning